What's going on, guys? I am Toxic Jordan. Welcome back to the channel. So today we're going to be jumping into the Super Saiyan 3 BARDOCK EZA here. We are actually on level 98 right now, so we're going to be clearing through stage 100. As I do with all of the EZA stages now, I decided that since we have them all up to level 100, we're just going to be, you know, getting these stages like cleared through level 100 on camera. I think that is probably just the best way to keep this going at this point. Maybe that number will increase in the future. I don't know if we're going to be able to increase that much more. I had some family birthdays this weekend, so I wasn't able to fully, you know, be dived into Dokkan like usual. So we are a little bit late on this one already. But usually I feel like these videos don't perform quite as well if I don't release the content like the day of or the day after the, you know, like the event releases. So that kind of gives me pause as to going any higher in these EZA stages, because if I were to get every EZA stage to, like, let's say stage 200 or something, right? So then I start recording these videos with the EZA stage at level 200. There's no telling if I'm going to be able to get those 200 stages done in, like, the first day of grinding it, because that seems like a lot to be able to do. That's, like, hours and hours and hours. So yeah, I would hate to have to wait, like, you know, 2 or 3 days to record these videos, kind of like how I am now. So yeah, I think stage 100 is probably the highest that I'm going to go for these on camera, at least for, like, the initial release. When I do the initial, like, clearing the event video, it'll probably just be stage 100. Maybe at some point in the future we could, like, loop back and do, like, another video for them if we get them to a higher stage. I don't know. Link leveling has become such a priority over grinding EZA stages. They would need some type of revamp, honestly, I think, for me to want to go any higher than stage 100. They would definitely need, like, a revamp for these events, as far as, like, giving out better rewards, right? Or just making it more worth your while to feel like you were going higher. Like, okay, if you were to get 10 power level for every EZA stage that you cleared, that would be amazing, right? That would be, like, so worth. Then I would definitely be grinding EZA stages a lot more. But they have just made link leveling so powerful. It is the most powerful thing that you can do in game. I know a lot of people are talking about, you know, like, kind of wishing for the potential for them to update the power level system and add more things to it, right? Like, they should, you know, a lot of people say that they should definitely put more weight on, like, rainbowed units, having your units, like, fully maxed out, and not necessarily just Link level 10, but having 100% of their hidden potential system, you know, invested, which I think could be good. Like, if, you know, so they could keep the same, like, potential node thing that they have now, where you get 1 point per potential node that you invest into a character, but then maybe you get, like, a bonus 1,000 if you complete a character and get them to full, like, 100%, right? That could be good as well. I don't know. There's a ton of different things that they could add to power level. I don't know, all kinds of stuff. Because, yeah, they already did, like, the stage clears, right? So if they were to add, you know, they don't really care how far you get in EZAs. So if they were to add some additional points for getting farther and farther in EZAs, that could be cool as well. And then I think they could also add some power level for the titles. Because right now the titles are purely cosmetic. And there have been a few different ideas that have floated around, right? As far as, like, being able to get, like, additional stat buffs for your characters. So, like, let's say you finished the, so this event, for example, you get a title at, level 77. This is the final title. You earn the gold title for this event. So, let's say that you, you know, earn that title, and then it gives you plus 50, like, attack and defense. Not 50%, but just literally 50, the number 50, attack and defense to all of your storied figures category allies. So it would just buff them by, like, a micro-molecule minuscule amount. But if you consider the fact that there's, like, 1,000 titles in the game, and you get all of them, and then add all those up, you would be seeing a decent increase, you know, in stats on your characters. I think that could be a really fun idea. Things like that. But I also think that it would be really smart for them to give you some power level for the titles. I mean, the simplest way to do it, obviously, would just be to give you, like, 10 power level for every title that you get. Or maybe they increase the amount that you get in power level based on the level of the title, because some titles are bronze, some are silver, and then some get that gold, you know, achievement. So maybe they could be worth more if they're like the gold ones and stuff, because obviously they know that those are harder ones to get. You know, and I think that they could even go further than that, because some titles are really easy to get. Like, I think, you know, using the Pure Saiyans team 300 times, right, and earning the gold title for that, that is much easier than, say, spending 2 billion Zenny in the Baba shop. Well, obviously that's going to get a little easier now once they revamp the Zenny shop the way that they have on JP, so that's kind of a bad example. But things like that, right? There are much harder titles. Like, there's still one title that I haven't gotten yet. We're waiting on one. Once I earn this title, we're going to do an all titles completed video for sure. So that is coming. That is on the horizon. But the one title that I have yet to achieve is the one where I believe it's called Give a Little Power Pole. Have a Little Power Pole, something like that. And it's you earn it for dishing out physical type super attacks 77,777 times. So you need to have basically any units that have a weapon, either a sword or a power pole or a gun or anything like that, that they use in their super attack. Those all count as physical type super attacks. Now, because this is Dragon Ball Z, that is very, very rare. There aren't a lot of units that have weapons, right? Most people are just fighting with their hands or fighting with ki blasts, which obviously are different types of super attacks. So, very, very difficult to achieve. I have already link level 10'd every single physical type super attacker in the game, so I've used them as most as I can. You know, and obviously when all of these events call for specific categories and stuff, it's really, really hard to include those units on the teams, unfortunately. I suppose we could have used Tapion here, because Tapion is a physical type attacker, so maybe it would have been smart for me to run this last 100 stages with a Tapion here to go toward that goal, right? So I didn't really think about that. I definitely kind of botched that there. But what I've been doing is I've been running the Boss Rush Stage 2, the one that has like that super long fight with like the 15 fights in a row. Anytime I'm unable to play Dokkan actively, I just run that stage and put it in my pocket and let it auto that for like half an hour with a full physical type attacker team. It's the same thing that I do when I go to bed every night. I just run that stage, and then if I wake up, you know, at any point throughout the middle of the night, I just restart the run. You know, and then when I get up in the morning, when I'm still waking up, and then when I'm getting ready and stuff, I'm running that a few more times. So I probably get about 5 runs on that per day. I'd say there's maybe about 30-ish, maybe a little bit more than 30, maybe like 40, 45 super attacks throughout the course of that event. So I don't know, you do the math, how many times I'd have to run it. I know it's hundreds and hundreds, so eventually we'll get there. But yeah, like once I achieve that title, I think that one would be worth like, you know, 3,000, 5,000 power level, because my goodness, it's so hard to clear, right? Okay, so that was the stage 100 cleared. Definitely pretty easy to do. Obviously, we can still auto the stage. Let's check out the friends list here. Who's rocking it? Man, they're all the way up at 165. Okay, yeah, and you can see here, they don't even have the Bardock as their leader, so they're not even on a full 200% team here. Imagine if you were, right? On a full 200% team. This is actually awesome because they get to use the physical Bardock here too. This could be a really, really strong build. Interesting stuff. But yeah, so you can definitely get very, very high in this stage if you want to. Okay, so last thing, let's pop over to the wiki and take a look at the new Super Saiyan 3 Bardock, you know, breakdown. I think I'm going to start doing this because I don't do showcases for every unit, especially units like this that I don't think are like super amazing. I don't really spend my time using them too often in the game. So yeah, I think it's important that when these units do get their awakenings and stuff, we just go over the card details and I give you my thoughts, what I think on the unit. So we're going to start including those at the end of these videos here. Okay, so post EZA, he is a Super Saiyan 3 170% lead, which is awesome. That is really, really good. We definitely need this for the Super Saiyan 3 category. He is by far the best Super Saiyan 3 leader at this point, which is really, really good because that category is kind of weak these days, at least in like the leader skill department, right? So he gets defense raise on super, which is really important, immense damage and seals. Key 3, attack and defense 100% at the start of turn. What was he pre-EZA? Oh, he had nothing at the start of turn. Man, see, this is the crazy thing about some of these characters that get EZA'd so much later after their initial release. Like, when did this guy initially come out on Global? 2018. And then he gets his his EZA 5 years later. That is such a long time. They usually get such a big buff in their kit. So that is exciting stuff to see. Okay, and I feel like it gives them a little bit more freedom to do things with these guys, because these old units, right, like this is his entire passive skill. It's 2 lines of text, whereas a unit that came out in 2021 has this whole wall of text in their passive already. So updating things, you can only tweak numbers slightly, so they're pretty much going to be about the same unit that they were. They're just going to perform a little better. Whereas units like this don't really have much in their kit, so they can add a lot more to it and do creative things with it. So I do like that, right? Okay, so then he gets the additional 100% stats on Super, so he just gets the additional 100% at the start of turn, and then still has the 100% on Super, which is nice. He's just flat out giving Super class allies 50% attack, which is awesome. Definitely love to see that. And then he launches an additional Super attack when there is a Power Beyond Super Saiyan's category ally in the same turn. That is super easy to do, right? Especially because if you're using him as the leader, then you're going to have all Super Saiyan 3 category allies, and that could be really good for you. But also, peeping down here quickly at his categories, there are a lot of Power Beyond Super Saiyan units on a lot of these categories, right? Another thing to note is that he is on some very, very bad categories, which is a good thing, right? Revenge, Crossover, Powerful Comeback is actually becoming a pretty good category at this point. Post 8th anniversary, there's a lot of good Powerful Comeback units, but he is definitely one of the units that adds to that. Storied Figures, and then, yeah, I think the rest of these are pretty solid teams. Maybe Time Travelers is another lower tier one, maybe Res Warriors as well. So, yeah, he is definitely on some weaker teams that could use the help. He is pretty solid defensively, definitely able to hold his own, and then his links are not the worst either. Unfortunately, he's got the whole Super Saiyan 3 thing going on, so he gets over in a flash and limit breaking form, which are not the best links, just because most of the strong units in today's meta aren't really on those categories. They're not really, or they don't really have these links. A lot of them are like prepared for battle and stuff, right? But he does also have prepared for battle, so that helps him out. And then he has this awesome link. I actually do want to open this up real quick. The First Awaken. This is one of my favorite, like, sneaky links in the game. Because as you can see, the First Awaken, you get 25% attack and 10% defense. That is a really, really strong buff. So basically, it's every unit. Well, not every unit. It's really hard to explain this. So it's basically just reserved for Piccolo, Super Saiyan Goku, and Bardock cards, I guess. But, well, it's also like UI Goku. I'm not fully... I guess it's like the Hype Awakenings, right? The First Awaken, because these are all of basically the moments where this card, like, awakened for the first time and got that legendary... Like, this is in Goku's fight against Frieza, right? Where he first went Super Saiyan and stuff. So I guess it's like the first awakening for that thing, but it doesn't really make sense because then Goku's UI Goku form. I mean, this is the first time that he awakened into the, you know, Ultra Instinct Sign Goku and stuff. And I guess God Goku is on here as well. It's a really, really interesting link, right? And it's kind of random, the pooling of characters here, but you can see there are some Storied Figures characters here because the Super Saiyan Bardocks have it as well. So he's definitely going to see it linked with these other Super Saiyan Bardocks. But yeah, the First Awaken, very, very, very good link. Very good link indeed. So yeah, overall, I think that this Bardock definitely has some utility on some of these lower level teams. You're going to be able to definitely get use out of him in some of those niche missions and stuff where you have to use these random specific teams on events. So you'll definitely get some use out of him. He is not going to be one of those top dogs that you just throw on every red zone team and are just absolutely obliterating events, right? Because I think if you were to do that, he would maybe this is what would happen to him. Yeah, so, yeah, but, you know, all in all, a good unit, definitely worth getting the EZA done. So, you know, let me know what your guys' thoughts are on this card, if there's anything interesting that I missed, you know, commenting on that you think is cool about the unit or horrible about the unit. Let me know in the comments down below. So if you guys enjoyed this one, then consider being a part of the Toxic Tribe with a like, comment, and subscribe on the video. We passed that 400 subscriber mark, and now we are on the road to 1K. Let's get this channel monetized, baby. So please smack the red subscribe button if you haven't done it already. That is going to do it for this one, and I will catch you guys next time. Peace!